You know, the best place to ionize water is high up on the hills, and under a full moon place a dish of spring water and leave it under the full moon. Now at the zenith on Pendle, this is where the full moon sits at midnight, exactly at this point. But if you came up here and you looked over that wall there, you'd notice the full moon actually sits over the top of Great Hambledon. You know, the mounded area where there's another ancient burial ground. But getting back to the water, you know, the Christians call it holy water, but it was never about holy, it being holy. What it was healing water. Oh, that's a loose dog. Anyway, it was about healing, and the goddesses knew that if they left a cup out and it had spring water in it, underneath the full moon on the big round stones, what there's plenty of round here, we call them the moonstones, right? Me and Alison find them all the time, and some people have wrongly called them sunstones, but they're not, they're moonstones. And the moonstones because the moon sits over the top of them at the zenith. Now there's different ones placed in different positions. Some are rounded stones, some are triangular stones. There's all different shapes. Some of them are animal shape. But what the water did, what the moon did to the water, was put lots of energised. I'm just watching for that dog. Energised the healing water. So when the woman was pregnant or whether she was ill, they'd have a drink of that water, and it would energise each cell in a body and put like an electrical charge around each cell. The same thing as what vitamin D does. If you take 2 vitamin D, that puts like a clear film, like, you know how the egg yolk has got that clear film, it puts that clear film around each blood cell. Okay, so this is how long the ancients knew about healing water, and that is a well-known fact. But it's got to be under a full moon. It's got to be, well, under a full moon. If it's a super moon, even better. But you see, pottery, making pottery. There was making pottery in the Neolithic. There was making pottery in the early Neolithic. Now where you get the cup marks, that was probably pre-making pottery. They knew to charge the water probably in the cup marks and the cup rings, because they understood the power of the rings around the yin water spirals. As above, so below. So above the stone, they would be making the spirals. Okay? Underneath the ground, they was making, copying Earth's energy patterns. So, I'm going to leave it there. Get out of the forest. When you see green lumps like this, it always fascinates me. Now when I find green lumps like that, I'd get my dowsing rod out usually when I've got it on me, and I'd push it down to see if there's a stone underneath it. Because I have known places like that with beautiful stones with cut marks on them. So never walk past a green patch like that without sticking something in it, right? I'm not doing that today. But yeah, so I just thought I'd let you know a little bit about ionized water.